Hello, welcome to a new video on this channel. Sorry for being MIA. Life just got up to me. There was a lot going on the last few months, and I just couldn't draw. Yep, that's pretty much what happened. I did other things though, like I did start working on my comic again. I also did um, work on my what do you call that? I was working on a game. I always start things, but I don't really finish them, which has been a huge complaint from my end. But yeah, this time I decided not to finish them. I'm just going to explore it, and I'm going to see how things are going. I'll post if something happens, something major happens, but everything's up in air at this point. Um, anyway, back to the drawing at hand. Today I'm doing a Draw This in Your Style challenge by HappyCharms here on YouTube. I think from my big comeback to YouTube, HappyCharms was someone who I started following, um, and her art's so cute. I really love it. And when I saw this challenge in my shorts, I definitely had to do that. So that's what it did. Finally, when I had the chance yesterday, a couple of days ago, I guess, not really yesterday, I decided to take her art and draw that in my style. Initially, I was thinking about keeping it in my cute style, but eventually I adjusted the proportions of the anatomy to suit the concurrent uh, style I have. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, for me, it's the difference between the cute style I have and my regular art style is something like a difference of one or two head ratios in the body anatomy proportions. So when I say that, what I mean is, like, you know how when we draw, a rule of thumb is to have the human body uh, height be about 7 to 8 heads tall. But when I draw cute, I usually try to draw about 5 to 6 head tall. But when I'm drawing regular, I draw 7 head tall. I know it doesn't really make sense, but that's how my brain functions here. And I find my art style to be more on the cuter side, so I can never draw chibis as a result. I really thought about doing a chibi challenge, but I never really got around to finishing it because I couldn't. It was such a very painful. I love watching others draw chibis though, but I myself find it hard to draw. I really hope I can do a 30-day chibi challenge again one day. Um, so I do the sketch, I go back, I adjust the proportions. But during the season, sorry, sketching sketching season. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, during the sketching phase, I usually try to capture the details as I see them. I don't worry about the anatomy and it being correct. Um, I usually just try to get the general idea of the pose, and then after I got the basic sketch done, I go back and correct the anatomy, and then I do a second sketch. Usually, after a second sketch, these days I've gotten into the habit of doing multiple sketches, but I've been running low on time these days. And as a result, I thought that I probably should just stick with two sketches this time. And instead of doing a line art, I directly use my second sketch as my line art. So in the end, the style is pretty sketchy, not literally sketchy. um, and I actually liked how it turned out. Whenever I usually draw with a more sketch type look, because sketchy feels like a funny word right now. Um, but um, but then whenever I draw, keep don't do the line art. I usually like to color my sketch. As a result of that, it the whole drawing looks a bit more harmonious, as you would see by the end. So while that's happening, now as you can see on the screen, I've divided my drawing in two heads. It doesn't really make sense, to be honest, sometimes, because I don't think I've placed the seventh head or eighth head marker on the drawing, and then I tried to adjust it, and everything felt a bit funny for a bit, but hopefully I eyeballed the whole proportions, and I felt it was okay. So yeah, I did decide to draw in my regular style, and then I would say the design of the character was so cute. Um, I haven't challenged myself in a while now. I've been drawing pretty basic stuff. And if you know me, I always struggle with drawing details. Um, I feel like um, I would want to get the basic idea of the character down, but I'd never really want to draw details. And as a result, you actually don't see me drawing much Genshin fan art, although I love Genshin quite a bit. um, Same goes for Star Rail, and I'm going to work around and get to draw the characters someday and share my love for them with everyone. But that's where things are for now. um, so I once read that if you really wanted to challenge your art, you really need to draw the details, and that's why I thought, okay, I mean, I wasn't thinking about this. I think from my Scaramouche painting onwards, I decided to push myself with every drawing and add more details into the drawings. Uh, as I'm recording the voiceover, I'm realizing how fun it was to record voiceovers and talk to everyone about what I really liked about art. And I'm sorry, guys, missed this for the last 3 months. I got into a spiral of overthinking things. Um, and I was also going to overthink this, but instead of that, I just decided to keep this like a simple draw with me challenge. And that's so good though. Um, I mean, like, I really like that. Uh, it's just a simple draw with me kind of session where I'm not editing much. Literally allotted myself 1 hour to draw, and then I finish the whole drawing in 1 hour, so that I am actually starting and finishing something. It's been so long. I've had so many sketches. One day I'm going to show you my Procreate. I have so many sketches. I was just very torn between all my art goals I had. Like this year when I started, I really wanted to open up a stationery shop. I wanted to sell stickers. I just wanted to experience owning a small business. I actually bought materials for it, but I've then found that I was lacking ideas. So I felt like the stickers I wanted and the stickers I was going to sell, there was like a huge difference between both of them. And I felt I was unable to cross that difference. Um, but I do hope that I can sell them. One of my goals for this year was to actually sell 100 orders of something. So I'm going to work towards it. There's 6 months left, and before New Year, maybe I can make a calendar for the New Year, or maybe another. I have a few ideas. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about them in upcoming videos because I really want to build up to that store in the rest of this year, and maybe I can also have you guys vote on a few things. So exciting things are coming up in the next half of the year. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Um, then a second thing is like I was working heavily on the comic. For me, when I work on the comic, um, I always wonder if I want to make the comic or the story I want to tell in the form of a comic or a game. I mean, ideally, I want to make a movie out of it, but I don't have the budget for that. But I just um, felt like I should just go for it. I should probably just do both of them and see and pick whichever one I like. And I did post the first part of the comic. I'm gonna link it down in the comments below. I just took the easy way out so that I don't have to draw much. I reused a few sketches. It's not pretty, but I just wanted to see how it feels like if I restarted doing the comic again. And as I thought, I felt like I was exactly in the same place I was like 4 or 5 years ago when I first posted the comic. I, although I figured out so much of the story, I still felt like I don't know anything, and I felt like I can't draw this world, um, which was pretty strange, but it makes sense. I guess although I know the story, I don't have any skills regarding backgrounds or architecture, or and that probably contributes to the lack of knowledge. I mean, feeling like an imposter when I'm doing the comic. Um, I'm also going to discuss this in more detail in a future video, hopefully. But I I just I'm just sharing my thoughts, guys. Yeah, let me know if you felt the same way. But it also made me think that okay, it doesn't really matter because even if I was going to do the comic 10 years later, I probably would feel the same way, even if I have every single detail figured out. So I might give it a go, but I feel like I haven't read too many comics these days. I've been too into games, honestly. So um, I might also give making them a game, making the story a game a go. But for that, the problem is like I don't play a lot of visual novels, and because my story doesn't really have any gameplay associated with it, I was gonna think about it as a kinetic novel, but I don't think I have any experience in that. I can do coding, but I don't think that I can do a good visual novel either. It's just like, how you have to read to write books. I, for the life of me, cannot play through visual novels. Um, and the only kind of stories, and I was also not a gamer for most of my life. So as a result, my pool of knowledge on game side is pretty low to very low. Um, so yeah, so it puts me in a very strange place where I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to tell the story to the world, which is not going to take me years and years, so that I can get to the other stories I have uh, in the same world. So yeah, I was stuck. I was just thinking about these two things. Um, I don't know what to do with this. Let me know if you have any advice in the comments. But I've committed to myself that I'm going to talk for the whole duration of this drawing, so I'm going to continue talking about stuff. And the thing is, I don't have any stuff to talk about. But it's okay. This is just a very chill video. If you don't want to listen to my voice, just put me on the mute, put your favorite music, and watch this video. But if you do like listening to me speak, thank you so much. um, what else should I talk about? Genshin. I've been playing Genshin a lot, and I think after 2 years, I finally feel like I want to develop a character, and that happens to be Chlorind. There are two funny things here. First thing, I really love Chlorind's playstyle, and I think her story quest was really good. It's been a while since I've enjoyed story quests, and this one was pretty nice. I mean, a bit predictable, but it was nice. It was a good experience. Um, and I really want to develop Chlorine into like a good uh, character. You know, do a lot of DPS damage, maybe, hopefully. I'm not very high on the DPS numbers. Usually, when I play Genshin, I need to have the characters under a particular level. I mean, for me, the characters should not do too much damage because uh, I don't want a game to end quickly, but it should not be too slow either. So, I mean, I have my Kazuha, and I don't develop him much because he already does so much of damage that I feel like I won't be able to play the game anymore if he keeps on doing more damage. It's a very, it's a pet peeve, I guess. I it's a very weird fact about me playing Genshin. Um, and the second thing is, so I'm still trying to figure that out. But with the new Imaginarium theater coming in, I feel like I want characters to do more damage. So I might be more into developing the characters, or I would just ask my sister to develop the characters for me if the worst comes to worst. And then my second thing is, fun fact is like, Nuvillet, he came home too. And the fun fact is, like, I don't know how to play Nuvillet. My sister always screams that playing Nuvillet is very easy. Like, he's one of the easy mode characters on the game. But for the life of me, I cannot figure him out. And every time I play with him, he's dead within 5 or 10 seconds. I just use up all his HP. I can never seem to heal him, and he's gone. So that's another fun fact about Genshin and my me playing Genshin. I have a lot of such stories to tell you about, especially my feelings regarding recent story quests that I wanted to talk about, and I never really could make the videos about it. So there's a lot of things to unpack over there. Now, um, now that my Genshin rant has come to an end, I think I want to talk about Honkai Star Rail right now because I've recently started playing it. So, when Honkai Star Rail released first, I actually opened the game because I wanted to start a game from the beginning and stick with it till the end and see how it feels like to be there. But the story quests were very slow when I started. So they would release one quest every version, and their versions last like, it feels like they last a very long time. And as a result, I don't feel like I can play the game for a very long time. And especially when Star Rail came out, there weren't many things I could do to fasten the speed of completing the dailies in Star Rail. So the reason why I'm saying is like Genshin, if I'm busy on a certain day, I can go and I can just do the 4 daily commissions and come out, and that's it. That's good enough. Finishing the commissions, taking the primogems for the day, that only takes about 10 minutes for me. Uh, but but Star Rail, when it comes to Star Rail, um, when the game first started, it was actually a lot more difficult. They would change the daily commission, the daily quests, um, very frequently, and every time I have to do different things, and playing simulated universe was very complicated at that time for me. As I said, I'm not a gamer. I have no clue how to develop the characters. I've recently figured that out though. So recently, because of all the tools they've introduced, like the in-game recommendations on which skills to level up, or the game tools, these are such beautiful features which make it easier for me to figure out how to play Star Rail. Um, but otherwise, I would always be lost. So when the game first started, we didn't have all these features. So I would have to figure out by myself or see what feels good, and then build the characters accordingly. That was fun too, but it just took a lot more time that time, especially because my characters were underdeveloped and I couldn't get through equilibrium levels, and I struggled so much. So I feel like when the game started, we couldn't use food in the equilibrium levels. I feel like now you can. Um, so, as I said, I really love that progression. I don't know if that's true or not, if I remember it correctly or not, but I really love that progression. And after our stint in Lawfu, I was very tired of playing Honkai Star Rail because, as I said, I would have to spend so many hours in a day to finish Honkai Star Rail related stuff, and that always didn't feel good for me because I have other things to do at that time. So I decided to just ignore the game and forget about it. And I forgot about it. I felt bad, but because I really liked it, I loved the animations that play every time ultimates are used or skills are used. I think like the characters are wonderful, and I love that Star Rail is so ridiculous at sometimes, as the story is very convoluted, as com- as complicated the story is. I think that's a better way of putting. As complicated the story is, Star Rail is as ridiculous as well. Like some of the options I choose when I'm talking to other characters in the story are just so funny for me. And I really enjoy that gap. Um, so, and I was like really um, sold out on not playing it. And I wouldn't even look at any Star Rail content. And then all of a sudden, one fine day, 1 month ago, Star Rail content started popping up all over the place. And can you guess who brought me back to Star Rail? And I don't know if you can guess it, but it was actually Gallagher. I heard a video where they said, I really like Gallagher's design, and I really like that he is also a water lover. I think, was it like soda lover or water lover? So I was just looking at the shorts, YouTube shorts, and all of a sudden there pops a YouTube short which says that Gallagher is the villain of Penacony. And I'm like so dumbfounded. How is this possible? He looks the most normal of everyone, and how come he is the villain of a major arc in Star Rail? And I tried to control my curiosity. I failed miserably. And then I went back to Star Rail and started my whole episode of playing it. Somehow, along this way, something which I'm very happy about and very proud of is I got my sister into Star Rail finally after a whole year. I've been asking her to play this game with me for a whole year, and finally she's on board and she's played through everything. She is at the end of Penacony and we are playing together, and I'm extremely happy about it. So, everything worked out this time around. I'm really waiting for the interlude, um, and to see a glimpse of which place we are going to next in the Star Rail universe. And I really can't wait. Um, I still feel like I have a lot of time before I uh, finish this. Where are we? Okay, if we go back to the screen, to what is on the screen, um, you can see that I'm coloring the drawing. I kept my sketch and then I decided to color below. I just, when I was drawing, I just really color picked the colors from the original drawing. I know the colors are a bit muted as a result because I think the original drawing was a traditional drawing, and the picture I picked the colors from was like through the camera. So I feel like the colors were a bit muted, but I was okay. I just wanted to keep the color scheme as close to the original as possible. And ideally, actually, I wanted to do this traditionally, but then I really didn't want to set up my tripod, so I just sat down there and I just drew digitally. It's all good. It was fun. And I go back and I add colors, and I just use the gouache painting brush, the default ones, and I just use that to color, so that gives the drawing a more traditional kind of feel. I got the iPad like in January, especially because I was going to do a lot of designing for the stickers and stuff, but then I never really got around to getting used to a tool. Tell me if this happens with you whenever you are whenever you buy new art tools. Do you get scared of them? It happens with me every time I buy a new art tool. I feel like I can't use them for a while, until they become old. And that really happened here too. So I couldn't break into my iPad. I didn't want any scratches and stuff. But in the end, I decided that July is the time when I'm going to actually really break into the iPad and finish drawings that I can, be happy with. So, I mean, I really, really have a lot of sketches which I've like started but not finished this year, and which is a bit sad. But I just needed to do this. Okay. Now again, I'm still I still have a lot of time to go. So tell me about what you guys are working on. Um, I don't know. Hmm. Mm, okay, was that good enough time for you guys to type down the answer? Maybe you need a bit more time. Anyway, I know this is not going to work out, but yeah, I would love to hear what you guys are working on at this point. And if you're working on a comic or a game, all the best. I love following comic creators, and um, game developers, in indie game devs. I'm very excited for what's that game? Chef RPG. It's coming up in September. I've been following the creator for a while now, and I can't wait for that game. I just hope it's playable on um, Mac system so that I can play it. But um, yeah, I think that would be awesome. And I've been looking into other games recently. Fields of Mystery caught my eye. But as I said, I'm in my gaming phase where I'm going to try playing different games. But yeah, and again, with everything else, I can't finish games either. So that's okay. I've at least finished this videos. So it's okay, guys. Everything's under control. And it's my huge comeback. I know it's been it's been a long time since I was away. And for everyone who stuck around, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We actually didn't lose that many people, to be honest, and I'm very happy about it. So, and if this video pops up in your feed and you've clicked on this, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you for watching this video. If there was something which I was very picky about in this particular drawing, that was the red bag. I feel like for a very muted color palette, the red bag was such a bright pop of color and it was drawing attention to itself. And I had to like find a way to blend that red color into the background, like so that it feels a bit more uniform. There's nothing wrong with using a pop of color in the drawing, but it's just that when a color sticks out too much, it feels a bit off. So I went back again and I kind of fixed it. And I think after I finished the red bag, I got really tired by the time I got to the sleeves and the dress. And it really shows. It really shows, guys, that I was really tired of it. And um, and I just took the easy way out. I was actually not going to do the shading on this one. First thing, because I've never really shaded my art for a long time, so I felt very rusty. And also because I wasn't drawing anything for the last few months, so I didn't want to be rusty. But I did shade it in the end. For shading purposes, I usually just go with a multiply layer. Just pick a violet color, I mean a light violet or something, and just shade it and offset the opacity to 30 to 50% depending on the color I'm picking. If I pick a darker multiply color, I just use a darker like less opacity. But if I'm using a lighter color, then I'm going to use more opacity. It really depends on what I'm trying to achieve, and usually it's not very defined. I just do it very intuitively. And after doing the shading, of course, I definitely do have to end it with, what do you call that, an overlay layer. So I've learned this trick a long while back, and every time I'm finishing a drawing, I need to do a purple and a yellow overlay, and both of them usually I reduce to 30% or until like the drawing feels good. But that's kind of something I picked up, and nowadays it feels like my drawing is not complete without it. But that's where things are. And to be honest, you should try it too, because it looks really nice, even if I say so myself. Okay, so we're there. Are we there? I feel like more than the draw this in your style challenge, I feel like this is talk for an hour challenge. And I don't know if I'm keeping anyone's interest at this point, but I'm still going to talk. I guess this just basically comes from me trying to avoid finding music on internet. As I said, I just want to keep it chill, and I just want to complete the drawing. I don't want you to feel lonely when you're watching this video. I hope that you feel happy and you feel like a friend is chatting with you when you watch this video. That's the effect I'm going for. And have you played Genshin recently? You can take a few minutes to type down what you thought about the bedtime story. I'm going to make a video on that, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I want to make a lot of videos. I just don't have enough time to make those videos. And that was my biggest problem for the last 3 months. There was so much I wanted to draw, but I really couldn't draw anything. And that feeling really sucks. And there's nothing we can do. The time is fast, everything's over. Now I'm in a much better place, and now I feel a lot better, honestly. So, and especially because I got back to drawing again. And who would have thought I could draw something so cute? I tell you, I surprise myself sometimes with how well I draw, because whenever I don't draw for long periods of time, I convince myself that I can't draw. And then I pick up my pen and, in this case, iPad, and then I start scribbling, and then I feel like, wow, I can actually draw, and I can actually draw better than I thought I can, which was very interesting. So, so that's what's going on. And as you can see on the screen right now, I try to add that color and a very muted peach color on for her sweater and the ribbon, and then I would probably just go and color the line art and add some finishing details. I actually had to edit it a little bit after I finished the drawing and the recording. I just did it to, like, the next day I drew this drawing. So okay, talking for 1 hour is painful. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Every time I think I have a lot to say, but when I actually try to say it, I feel like I don't talk that much. So I end up not having much to say to people. I mean, especially with the online videos, I feel like I don't have much to say. Like the content I told you today, the things I told you today, I was gonna make multiple videos on that, but I literally had nothing to talk about today. And no matter how much I talked, I felt like everything was over so quickly. But then again, I guess it makes sense. It's a 1 hour long video. So if I was like making individual videos for these, they would be like 5 minute, or like 10 minutes or 15-minute segments. And I've been talking about things for almost an hour, so I guess it makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I really, really want this to be a draw with me video. I should have actually started this way, right? Grab your pencils or pens or your tablets and sit down to draw with me. Okay, I should have, probably next one. But I hope I don't talk that much in the next one. I'll find music. I'll find good music for you guys, so that you can just put this on and draw. But sometimes I feel like, especially I think for me, I like watching speed paints, but I actually don't really enjoy my own speed paints. That's been a huge issue for me, because that doesn't make me feel like, okay, I want to create a speed paint today. I don't feel like that because I don't even watch my own speed paints. And then I wonder who will watch my speed paints if I don't watch my own. So this is again a step towards another step, I guess. But let's see how things go. So, and I was thinking about it, but maybe a draw with me video probably is a bit more different than um, what do you call this? Um, how do I call that? Sorry. Uh, Speed paint video. Does that make sense? Um, Actually, it doesn't really make sense to me either. I feel like I don't have enough patience to watch speed paint videos anymore, unless I want to learn a particular technique. But I feel like if I'm watching a draw with me video, it feels like I'm drawing together with them. So this video is also an experimental video. And I'm going to make a lot more experiments in the future for the next 6 months. And let me know which one work and which one don't work, and which one you would like to see more of. I think this was one of my favorite parts of the drawing. I like those little bows on the boots. These kinds of boots are my favorite to draw, not to wear. Um, I've actually not seen good ones like these to wear, but um, I do like to draw them though. They seem simple enough, but also complicated enough. One thing I want to learn this year is like drawing shoes. Pretty random, but yeah. I feel like I've never really focused on drawing anatomy properly. So, drawing anatomy also takes the cake. Learning to draw anatomy takes the cake. And I also want to learn backgrounds. I honestly don't know how I'm going to do all this, but I feel like my anatomy is not that bad, to be honest, but it's not great either. I mean, definitely, if I need to rank it from a 0 to 100, I would say 30 to 40ish. I feel like it's there, but it's not there yet. Uh, so yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but that's how it is. Um, and then with backgrounds, as you can see, I've not drawn backgrounds. I've not really drawn backgrounds, and these days I've been relying on 3D models quite a bit whenever I need to, like, say, whenever I'm participating in something like a Secret Santa or something. But I've never really learned drawing backgrounds from scratch. Um, so that's why I want to focus on them too. I think one main reason why I want to focus on learning backgrounds is because when I'm drawing something like a comic, I have no sense of how the location looks like. Say, if I wanted to create a room for one of the characters to live in, like an apartment or something, apart from generally how the apartment layouts look like, I have no clue how the character is going to organize stuff or like add a bit of personality into the background, basically. So I want to learn them. I know all of them are pretty high skills to learn. Uh, like they have pretty high bar, especially for a perfectionist like me, I guess. I don't know. I don't like to call myself a perfectionist, but uh, yeah, but it's hard to finish things, so I guess. Um, I want to learn them. The bars are pretty high to what I would say, okay, I finally know these skills. But let's see. I'll get there one day. It's all good. Everything in good humor. um, So honestly, what else do I say? I wanted to learn like anatomy background. I do want to learn paneling, especially this year. So I actually went to my local library, got a few manga, and I want to really study the paneling in those manga. But a big but, a big however. Um, so I never really got to read them. That's the thing. But it's okay. Everything's fine. I'm gonna get to them eventually. The thing is, like, my free time became so limited recently that I only do one of the things I want to do, and um, it's been pretty hard to do that because I want to do a lot of things, and it's just not possible in the amount of free time I have, especially given that I want to rest too. So partly drawing counts as rest, but I do want to do, like, recently I've been like building up to a workout routine, and especially if I go out to the gym or go out for walking, it easily takes out 2 hours per day. So that's one thing. That's why I'm a bit on the fence about stuff at this point, um, because I really need to focus on my health, um, and then and I'm also tired of looking at screens by the end of the day. My work usually deals with a lot of computer screen time, and by night, I feel like I don't want to look at screens anymore. And that's why I keep buying a lot of traditional art supplies. But for that, the problem is like I need to set up a tripod every time I want to record something, and I don't really like the lighting situation. I tend to record at night, so I don't really like how the videos turn up usually. And maybe I'm gonna hire an editor one of these days just to see how a video looks like when it's professionally edited and color graded, with the same equipment I have. That'll probably be an interesting experiment to do. I've been meaning to do that for a while now, but let's see. Um, so what am I doing in this drawing at this point? I'm honestly not sure what I'm doing. Okay, I think I'm coloring the line art, like the sketch. For coloring the sketch, I usually go with like the base color or the darker colors. I take the mid base color of the part of the drawing that I need to color the line art for, and then I just desaturate it and make it darker. Maybe not desaturated, not always. The rules are not made yet. So, for example, here you can see I just go with a dark gray, but it kind of has a bluish tint to it, so that's fine. And then I do the same thing for the other ones. I just pick a color and then I say, okay, I want to get the darker color for this one. Um, so I think that kind of like means that once I'm started coloring the line art, I feel like I'm close to the end of the video, because that's kind of like the last step I do. Once I color the line art, I'm pretty much done. Okay, and remember what I did not do in this one, and that's kind of like highlights. I did not draw highlights in this one, and that's pretty sad. But I guess I don't really draw highlights. That's why I usually tend to start from very light colors and build up the darker tones as I go. Most often, I kind of forget about the highlights in the end. highlights are always like a afterthought to it. And that brings me to the next thing that I need to study this year, which is like light and color. Because I want my colors to be more vibrant and pop out, but I haven't been able to do that in a while now. I feel like when I was younger, it was so much easier to do very vibrant colors that pop out. But these days, I feel like I've settled for a very muted palettes. And that is something which I am struggling with at this point. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I want to have very vibrant art, especially like the colors Pluvias uses in her art is like so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I hope I can achieve that kind of color scheme one day. Yeah, I need to share my inspirations, uh, art inspirations with you guys one day. That's gonna be so fun. I actually came across the very first art video that I ever saw, and I got like hooked on digital art because of that. Um, but it was such a good memory lane. I can't believe it still exists because it's almost like 10-15 years ago, and it's really amazing though. Really like it. Overall, I would say that I really like how the picture turned out. Um, okay, I'm actually trying to find faults at this point because you know, I just tend to do that. I'm a bit self-critical, so I'm just trying to find things, and I am seeing that it kind of has a yellowish hue overall, but eventually, once I apply the overlay layers, it looks all right for me. Um, hmm, I don't like that flower on the heart shaped bag. I feel like the color doesn't pop out at all and it feels pretty washed out. It's supposed to be a bit more yellowish, but oh well. I probably didn't pick the right colors for the job. How is the drawing you're drawing coming along? Just let me know in the comments. Happy for a chat. And yeah, clothing. I've been learning a bit about clothing these days. So I've been learning the different kinds of sleeves, this different kinds of necks, um, different kinds of pants, which is all pretty interesting knowledge. And I also am learning about folds and how to draw folds. Nothing came out of it. I still feel like I'm winging things at this point, but I still think I improved. I like to think I improved quite a bit though, compared to how I used to draw before. It doesn't really help that the arms are still stiff. Um, Most of my drawings, the arms are like stiff and very robotic. That is something I'm planning to add a bit more fluidity to my art. Okay, I think we're close, guys. There it is. The yellow overlay. Yes, the 27%. Then I realized the other color was not really the one which I'm looking for. So I just go back and adjust it. And then I'm gonna lower the opacity again for this one until I find something which has a more pinkish hue, I guess, just so it looks really nice. And then I think I also go back and add a shadow below her feet. Whenever I draw characters, I usually like to add a bit of a shadow. it feels like they are more grounded that way. Makes it a little bit more interesting for me. But now that I think about it, I really want to change that white background. um I don't like it. But anyway, I think it's done. I mean, at least for the video, it's done. I'll probably just go back and change a few things a bit later, and 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 things. I guess it's been nice, guys. Thank you for staying this far. If you stayed this far, and thank you for visiting my page again. If you liked content like this, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you've liked listening to me, do let me know. I'm gonna talk more. I'll just see you guys in the next video. And yeah, have fun. Have a nice week. Bye bye.